Ballerina 2025 Act by Act Story Summary. Act 1 Alagi in Motion Setup and Departure. First, Origins in Blood. The film opens with a flashback a young girl named Eve Macaro, Ana de Armas, hides behind a curtain in her father's pawn shop. Her father, a kind-hearted man with no ties to crime, interrogated and murdered by a ruthless enforcer named Udo. Under order from an unseen higher power, Eve's screams are muffled by a storm outside. The traumatic memory ethics itself in her mind. We cut to training facility under the Ruska Ruma a Brutal Ballet Academy turned a session school where Eve, now in her 20s, has been forged into a weapon. He see her during a tense rehearsals, a mixture of a ballet and blade world under the watchful eye of the director Angelica Huston. Eve is precise, driven, and distant. Her ballet is flawless, but her instructor notes she is dancing with vengeance, not grace. 2. The dead don't sleep. After a particular brutal sparring session, Eve sneaks into the director's private chamber and uncovers a file containing information about Udo, still alive, now operating in Proj under the name Victor Rollis, laundering money through an international defense contractor. She confronts the director. The matrix does not deny it, but warns her revenge is a contract with death. If you break the rule, you will be uncommunicated. But Eve is already gone. 3. The journey begins. Eve traveled to Proch using forged continental credentials as she prepared. We glimpse photos of Udo's lieutenants and his fortified compound. She reached out to Carl Norman Reduce, a former session turned underground arms dealer. Carol is a credential, exiled, and bored but intrigued by Eve's purpose. She also visits the bridge breath of the Continental Hotel, where she meets Wisdom Scott, Lan McShane, and Charon Lance Raddick. They reluctantly allow her temporary passage but warn her not to bring violence onto consecrated ground. As Eve prepares, she's watched by Udo's men and someone else, a shadowed figure in a tailored suit known only as the Wolf. Act 2 The Dance of a Blade, Conflict and Consequence. For First Blood, Eve begins talking about Udo's lieutenants once by once, each assassination choreographed like dance pieces set in a Cassis opera house, a train station, a marble bathhouse. These scenes blend grace with savagery. Udo's empire starts to falter. He panics and tightens his inner circle. His girlfriend Natalia, a conflicted former ballerina herself, begins to question his past and motives. Flashback reveal that Udo did not just kill Eve's father, he was once a Ruska Roma operative excommunicated for selling out others. His rise came from betrayal. 5. A nasty alliance. After a butcher's hit nearly kills her, Eve is saved by John Wick. Keanu Reeves in a limited but powerful role. He is in a purge briefly to settle personal affairs, but recognize Eve from the Ruska Ruma archer. They share a quiet rooftop conversation watching the city light. John, you don't dance to honor the dead, you do it to silence the noise. Eve. And what if the noise is all I have left, John? Then you make it the last sound they hear. He gives her a warning. Someone has placed a black marker on her head. She is now being hunted. The wolf. The wolf is revealed by the Gabriel Byrne, an enforcer sent by the High Table. His purpose is a twofold: stop Eve before she triggers a war and ensure Udo, a secret High Table ally, is protected. Eve fights her way through a high table trap set in an abandoned theater. An elaborate shootout featuring mirrors, traps, and improvised ballet choreography with knives, bullets, and fire. Carl is captured, the Continental is put on lockdown. Winston denies Eve sensory. Act 3. The final required climax and resolution. 7. No turning back. Eve trades herself to save Carl but uses the moment to plant explosive inside Udo's compound. During the escape, Carl is gravely wounded. He urges her to finish what she started. She confronts Natalia, who gives her a key. Udo's ledger, listing names of those he betrayed, including members of the High Table. With the ledger, Eve now has a leverage. The High Table considered killing Udo instead of protesting him, but the wolf intercepts her before she can deliver it. A brutal one-on-one fight ensues between Eve and the wolf in the rain outside an old glassy roofed greenhouse. It ends with Eve stabbing him using the heel of her point shoe, an ironic, poetic finish. The Last Dance. Eve infiltrated Udo's compounds, distraction guards in silence, fire and fury. The final confrontation between Eve and Udo is raw. Sat in his glass office filled with mirrors, he offered her a chance to walk away. You can't bring the dead back, girl. She replied, no, but I can make sure they won't rest easy. She kills him, but not before being shot herself as she stumbles out, wounded and covered in blood. The compound exploded behind her. She collapses under a statue of an angel like a fallen ballerina taking her final bow. 9. A shadow among shadows. She awakens in a monstrously safe house. The director in here so it Winston Caron brings her tea. The director tells her the high table has issued a formal reprieve. The leader spared her to now, but she is no longer part of Ruska Roma. You are not longer ours, but perhaps you are finally your own. In the final scene, Eve walks through a crowded square, blending in with the tourists. She looks up at the sky. Her eyes are calm for the first time. Cut to blend. Epilogue Legacy. A post-credit scene now Carol still alive but bedridden, receiving a package. Eve's notebook inside are choreographed movements, each labeled after the fallen. The last one is title required. Fade to silent. Now it's time budget. The movie's budget, the film's producing budget is estimated at 80 to 90 million dollar, with most sources citing 19 million dollar, a figure that accounts for an extensive retool under the supervision of Chad Stahelski. Initial budget were reported closer to 80 million dollar, but after a substantial records the final spend edge toward the higher end. Box office number opening weekend North America opening weekend gross across 3,409 theaters was $24.5 million, slightly below the forecasted 28 to $30 million reached. Wikipedia. This was the second lowest opening of the franchises, only the original 2014 John Wick opened lower at $14 million. Domestic US and Canada as of mid-June 2025, the film has earned 83 to 57 million dollars domestically depending on the reporting source. Wikipedia estimated 43.1 million through June 16. French German sources report approximately $56 million domestic gross. International worldwide international box office range from $49.7 million to $74 million, contributing to global total between $92.8 million and $132 million. Wikipedia, both Wikipedia, the Oman media. Worldwide gross estimated ever. Box Office Mojo reports about 92.8 million to 92.9 million dollar, and Wikipedia July 19 update listed $132 million, included $57.9 million domestic and 74.0 million internationally. Summary table category producer budget value 18 to 19 million dollar, like the close to 90 million dollar. Opening weekend 24.5 million dollar. US and Canada gross 43 to 57 million dollar, and international gross 49 to 74 million dollar. Worldwide gross 92 to 132 million dollar. Financial outlook with a production budget near 90 million dollar but estimated marketing cost in the $40 to $45 million range. Ballerina likes needed to gross at least 200 to $225 million globally just to break even, given that studios only reach about 50% of a domestic box office and less from international receipts. At best, earning currently appears to be around or below $100 million worldwide, suggests the film may not have recouped its full theatrical investment through ticket sales alone. Contact and comparison. Comparison to other John Wick movies. John Wick Chapter 4 earned $440 million worldwide on a $100 million budget. Chapter 3 hits $326 million. Ballerina lower scale opening and overall revenue are notable underwhelming for the franchises. Box office analysis pointed to the factors such as a crowd summer release windows, weak marketing, title ambiguity, the name ballerina failing to convey acting intensely, and franchises fatigue as a potential resource for the underperformance. If you if you would like a deeper dive into weekend by week breakdown international marketing, especially exhibiting India performance or a comparison to similar span offs, I would be happy to elaborate. Here are refined summary of public critical and audience reception for Far From the World of John Wick Ballerina 2025. Critical response Rotten Tomatoes and Metrics. The film holds a 76% tomato meter source from the critics with an even stronger 92 to 94% audience rating. Metacritic reports are 69 to 100 by 100, indicating mostly favorable reviews. Review highlighted the Washington Post praised the franchise's vibe and stylized action. Through notes, the arms does not fully match Reeves' gravities to tone shift from the unexpectedly humorous to chaotic, particularly in the final acts involving a Kazis assassin villain. Time call it's a high octane spin-off with a spectacular stunt sequence through ultimately more spectacularly than substance. The visuals and the customs design receive particular popularity. Entertainment Weekly highlight a prolific first half and a more engaging cartoonist second half filled with over-the-top combat, but moments come later. But the opening fees derivative. EW.com. Roger Albert cites frames Ballerina as a decent entry in the abrasive WICK universe, grimly inventive and more satisfying in its final act, even if it lacks narrative tips. Roger Albert plus 15. Indian Express criticism the arms as lacking the WICK X Factor, labeling the story and dialogue glitch heavy and her performance emotionally hollow. The Time delivered one of the harshy assessment, calling the film uninspired with weak narrative caution and casting misstep, considering various attempts of female lead acting cinema. The Times. Mixed through, critics generally agree acting sequences are inventive, visual risky, and the choreography lean toward the franchise's high standard. D. Armas is competent physically through her character lacks emotional weight. Supporting cast Houston Barney reduce Reeves' cameo brings gifts but plot and pacing are inconsistent. Audience praise. Audience on Rotten Tomatoes gives Ballerina a 93 to 94% approval, matching or surprising John Wick Chapter 4's rating. Social media reaction emphasizes Anna de Armas slays, calling it a peak female lead action film and requesting a sequel. Perfect summary acting blockbuster with high octane thrills and rated thrill. Show fans hoping to dance, inflecting choreography, and praising the aesthetics through expression, skepticism about expectation prior to release. Overall summary, type score and sentiment. Types critical score 76 to 81%, Rotten Tomatoes 69 to by 100, Metacritic. Audience score 93 to 94%, highest in franchises, and highlights stylish action, strong visual, inventive choreography, criticism, weak story, inconsistent pacing, underdeveloped lead, and running issues, emotional depth lacking, tone shifts mid-film. Final task, Ballerina divides the opening critical see it a visual, bold but narratively wanting, while audience generally embrace it as an thrilling new chapter in the Wick universe with a standout lead in Anna de Armas. If you prioritize intense action and visual spectacles over emotional nuance or franchise's lore depth, this might be one of the most enjoyable entirely yet. Now, over our reviews and I request you to subscribe our channel for more new movies and latest update. Thanks for watching. Take care.